The subject is physical propulsion, psychic propensities and spiritual attainment. Wherever there is any physical structure, be it animate or inanimate, there is certain propulsion. Or you may say propensive propulsion. In the case of inanimate objects, the propulsion is of physical nature. In magnets, there are certain characteristics. In water, there are certain characteristics. There are all their physical propulsions or propensive propulsions. In the case of animated structure in animals or in bodies, human bodies, the propulsion is based on psychic specialties. That is, the propulsion is psychophysical. Everything moves in this universe. Everywhere there is expressed dynamicity. Nothing is static in this universe of ours. Not only in the realm of physicality, but in the psychic stratum also we find this movement. In the psychic stratum, rather in the psychic arena, the movement takes place through different propensities. And with the help of certain inferences, so the mental structure of each animate body moves sometimes with proper acceleration, sometimes with retardation. Where there is retardation, a day will come when the mental structure will get crudified and become one with crude or material objects. Those who have not got any subtle ideology or goal are sure to become one with the crude world, one with the physical world, one with the world of atoms and electrons. What a dangerous situation. They will lose their identities and become one with the dust of the earth. So it is the duty of each and every sane human being to see that there remains movement in his or her mind, in his or her mental world. And that mental world, that mental movement should be charged with proper acceleration. Because when there is no acceleration, retardation is sure to take place. Now in the realm of physicality, in the stratum of physicality, there is some urge and there is some movement, rather actional movement. This urge is psychophysical. What is this urge? Phalashatiti Viswasa Siddhir Pratham Lakshanam Dvitiyam Svadhyaya Juktam Tirtiyam Guru Pujanam Chaturtho Samata Bhavo Panchama Indriya Nigraha Sashtam Cha Pramita Haro Saptamam Naiva Vidyate. In this phase of physicality, the first item of the psychophysical urge is the firm determination that I must be successful in my mission. This firm determination is the first requisite factor. The second item is that one should have respect for one's goal. Shrat plus dha, Shraddha. Shrat means Satyam, the supreme veracity, and dha means movement towards that. To Shraddha means movement towards the supreme veracity. Sometimes people wrongly understand the word Shraddha, Sharat, Satyam, Tasmin Dhiyate Yasa Shraddha. Triyatam Guru Pujanam. One should do as per the Gospels of the preceptor. Chaturtho Samata Bhavo. One must have balanced mind, that is, one must establish prama within and without, that is, in the physical, psychic and spiritual spheres. If prama is lost, it must be restored immediately. Panchamindriya Nigraha. One must have self-restraint. One must not be goaded by crude propensities. How can a person who has no control over himself or herself exercise control over others? It is not possible. And Sashtam Cha Pramita Haro. One must have a balanced diet. Whatever I get, that I will eat. This must not be the policy of a sane being. This human body is a composite of protoplasmic cells, and these protoplasmic cells are made of the food we take in. If the food and drink is defective, then the protoplasmic cells will also become defective, And the human body, human mind, which is the collective mind of so many protoplasmic minds, will also become defective. That is why tamasic or static food has a negative influence on the human mind. These are the requisite factors. And in the psychic sphere, when the mind proceeds internally towards its supreme fulfillment, there will also be 3 separate stages for accelerated progress. Pranipaten pariprasnen sevaya. Pranipat means surrendering oneself before one's goal. The attitude of self-surrender is represented by Sastang Pranam, which means to lie flat in a straight line like a rod. The idea is, however crooked I may be to others, to my ideology I am as simple and straight as rod. That is why I lay prostrate. When one surrenders before one's ideology, one will automatically attain self-knowledge. One need not move here and there in pursuit of self-knowledge. Idam tirtham, brahmanti tam sajana, atma tirtham na jananti, katham moksh varanane. Here is a place of pilgrimage. If one takes a holy dip in the holy place of pilgrimage, one will acquire one sort of merit. Over there is another place of pilgrimage. If one pours water on the deity, over there one acquires another sort of merit. One does not acquire any spiritual progress in this way. This is not the path of true spirituality. One will have to move internally. So only a person who surrenders himself before the ideology can attain self-knowledge. This is the only way. Pariprasna means to get the detailed answers to all the questions, which will facilitate one's individual progress as well as the collective progress of the cosmos, and also to apply the acquired knowledge in accelerating both individual and collective progress. Pariprasna does not mean to become a sip of knowledge. It means to know the answers to those queries which will accelerate and make the path of progress smooth. And the third one is Sevaya. Seva means rendering selfless service to the universe. Not to a particular group of people, but to anybody and everybody, to all living creatures, animals, plants or human beings. Service is unilateral, not mutual. Where it is mutual, it is not service, it is a commercial transaction. You are giving salt to somebody and he pays you in return. This is not service. People should carry on commercial transactions to earn their bread and render service in order to attain their spiritual progress. Only those are successful people who follow this principle in life. This is the dharma of humanity. This is the practical dharma. When people deviate from the practical dharma, their progress is stopped and the pramatrikon in the physical stratum is also destroyed. And in that absence of pramatrikon in the physical stratum, material prosperity will become an impossibility. Now you are to move towards the spiritual world from the psychic stratum. When one proceeds in the psychic arena, having attained prama samriddhi in the individual and collective spheres, one should try to attain prama riddhi also. And for this one requires two things. There must be some spiritual psychic urge and there must be some psycho-spiritual action, actional progress. What is that spiritual psychic urge or spiritual psychic propulsion? It is, I love my Lord, I love Him. My love knows no barriers. And in the field of activity, I will be ready to do anything and everything for Him. I will recognize no obstacles. I will not care for anyone's blame or censure. The chariot of my victory will move undaunted, smashing all hindrance. And on the psycho-spiritual path, one will proceed towards the object of ideation, the supreme entity, the source of all benevolence. This movement towards the supreme entity is not only intended for one's individual emancipation, but for the emancipation of the entire universe. In the field of external progress, one will attain Prama in the psychic sphere. Prama Riddhi will be established both in the individual life and in the universe, and in the immediate next stage, that is in the psycho-spiritual stage, one will attain a purely spiritual stance. That is, one will attain Prama Siddhi. It means that the aspirant has attained the goal. This one attains not out of one's self-interest, but for the promotion of the interest of all. One will be able to bring about welfare to one and all in a better way. In the last stage of this movement, this is in the spiritual sphere, one comes in contact with the Kaushiki Shakti, the primordial force of creation, and through the Loka Trikon, which was established through Prama Siddhi, which has Prama Samriddhi as one side, Prama Riddhi as another side, and Prama Siddhi as the third side, one approaches the vertex of the Guna Trikon. This is the particular vertex of the unbalanced Trikon, unbalanced triangle, from which the Kaushiki Shakti came out, moving in a straight linear order, not in a systematic way. Now, in this final stage of spiritual practice, the Kaushiki Shakti will move in a straight line in the opposite direction, along the upward movement of Kul Kundalini, and finally one will become one with the Guna Trikon. This is the state of perfect consummation of human existence. This is the glory of supreme spiritual attainment. You are the spiritual aspirants. It is your duty to establish a balanced triangle through Prama Samriddhi in the physical sphere, Prama Riddhi in the psychic sphere, and Prama Siddhi in the spiritual sphere. By this, your coming to this earth will be successful.